So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. Coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it. I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it all. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes.
Slipping
was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, 'cause that's what it takes.
All right, guys, welcome. Happy Wednesday. Sorry about that. I'm a clown. What the fuck do I know? I don't know what day it is. Mediocre, how you doing?
What's up, buddy?
We just got back from a movie. I tried to crank out an AMC video real quick. I didn't quite get the editing done. So, guys, you'll have to wait till after this live stream is over. It's filmed. I just got to, I like to cut out the ums and the ahs. And make it as smooth and most respectful of your time as I can. So that'll come out here shortly when we're done. But tonight, since we've been doing a lot of GameStop live streams, I thought we just open it up and have a chat about whatever you guys want to regarding your AMC questions, because there were a bunch in the last couple GameStop live streams, and I try and stay on topic as much as I can. And Mediocre, I see that we got some box office numbers finally updated. So let me throw those up on the screen. Did you know that Box Office Mojo was not correct all week?
But before you do that, you gotta do me one favor, maybe if you will. I don't know if you will or not, but can you run the Clown News Network, intro?
Did you not see it a second ago?
It didn't come all the way through. I didn't notice it.
Clowns are funny.
Yeah, buddy. That's the
Yeah,
one.
buddy. We're going to talk about all the clowns out there today. So if you guys got questions about any clown content you've seen on other channels, we are the reporters to give you the facts, just the facts. And feel free to throw your questions out in the chat, and we'll try and pick up as many of them as we can. Mediocre, all day today, what I was seeing here on Box Office Mojo is they had 4 million daily box office for Monday and no other updates. And they were missing all the Inside Out 2 numbers. And I woke up yesterday and today, and I saw 4 million on Monday. That's horrible, because I want to see 20 million average Monday through Thursday, and then maybe another 100, 125, 130 over this weekend. And once I dug into it, I was like, oh, they're missing Inside Out. So we got real numbers now, Wednesday evening. 18 million for Monday, 24 million for Tuesday. That meets my threshold I was looking for of an average of 20 million a day, slightly over. And we'll have to see how Wednesday and Thursday turn up. We went and saw a movie today. We saw The Watchers with, who is that? Dakota Fanning in there. It's okay. It's not really that scary. It's kind of interesting, but I knew going into it that it wasn't going to be fantastic. It wasn't awful. And And then we have lined up to go see what's that? Quiet Place Day 1 and Kevin Costner in Horizon. That's our next plans. So we're trying to get in as much as we can to help the box office before the end of this month.
Me to go to opening day of Beetlejuice guy. I'm like,
when we were watching the previews,
I'm taking another Peroni tonight, Tony. Just so you know.
I'm going to make y'all laugh. My wife is not the movie person that I am, but she's like, "What's that movie?" She's also a little younger than me, Mediocre, if you didn't know. She said, I only say that because I don't know if she was alive when Beetlejuice came out. She said, "What's that movie coming out? You know, the one with that guy, he kind of looks like Einstein." I was like, "What?" She's like, he's like dead or something. I was like, "Oh, you mean Beetlejuice?" She's like, "Yeah, I really want to see that one. When is that one coming out?" So we're going to go see the Einstein movie whenever it comes out.
My wife is like one of those cult following Beetlejuice people. She bought, no bullshit, I'm going to show you in the Discord, but she bought this 20-foot fucking tall Beetlejuice thing for fucking Halloween. Its head spins some crazy shit on top of it.
Very nice.
I have to go pick it up in another fucking state. I'm like, what's the fine?
You don't own it yet? It's something that she bought that you got to go pick up?
She bought it because it had to be pre-ordered so she could have it for fucking Halloween.
My neighbors have a huge, like 20-foot inflatable something. And I always see it moves, and I think it has sound. And in the evenings, it always freaks out the dogs when people are doing walks in the neighborhood because like, oh shit, what is this? This is a big ass thing. 1.755 is our box office. I do think that we have a good shot of getting 1.9 billion for domestic box office, which would make me feel a lot better. I see we got Sparky in the chat here. You got any thoughts, Sparky, on I've been talking to some people about if we think that AMC is going to potentially do a cash raise or a debt for equity swap here in the next week or so. And my paranoia is decreasing. I wouldn't say I have no paranoia about it, but the more I see better box office like this, 1.9 potentially, that means maybe 100 million less cash burn than I was worried about. Company has plenty of cash, right? They got plenty of cash to last a year, but why am I worried about it? Because they're planning 2 years out, and they're also planning for whatever cash that the lenders might require them to have to do a debt refinancing. So I'm not just thinking about, oh, well, they've got 700 million on the balance sheet. That's plenty. There's other cogs in this gearbox here that we need to think about. If you want to be fully paranoid like me and like try and think, what is management looking at? They're looking at a lot of things more than just your typical retail trader might be. It's not that I'm trying to scare people out of AMC. I'm just trying to make the absolute best choices I can to get the lowest possible price. And I don't want to load up ahead of a dilution, but if my paranoia becomes reduced, then I start buying more. What do you think, Mediocre?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat. My problem is like I'm anxious to see what's actually going to happen because I'm on the fence. Does it really how much is it going to get pushed down, So
we had a good run up in the price at the end of the day today, kind of unexpected.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day yesterday, that's nice to see. If you're just tuning in, I did buy some shares last Friday at $5, but I'm mostly in cash for AMC. And if it finishes below 450 this week, I'll pick up a little bit more from some contracts that I sold. But my ideal price that I'd feel comfortable buying is 350. But like I've said on my videos, if you've been watching them, if this is the new norm up here in $4 to $5 range, I'm okay with buying there. I just want to know that I'm not going to get rug pulled with some more dilution, and then they drop it. Then, I mean, they being the price, the market drop the price.
Yeah.
That's all.
No, I kind of feel the same way. We've been talking about it in the Discord quite a bit. I'm like, but I'm afraid it won't break 4. Right. So I just in between 450 and 4, I feel comfortable, but it could go lower. I don't know if it will, but
I think if we close this week under 450, then like next week I'll be looking at selling $4 puts to try and get in my next position under $4. But we'll have to see. It's only Wednesday. Got 2 more days to go.
yeah.
Sparky says they don't have to right away sell more shares or do a debt for equity swap. I think he's covering both bases. Would think they can wait for $5 plus for sure. That's what we're thinking, like the smart play. Everyone I've talked to thinks the smart play obviously would be, let the price run up a little bit and sell less shares for a higher price. It's unavoidable that they're probably going to have to do something to get the debt refinanced. But all of us, I think, would prefer they do it at a higher price than where we're at right now. Sparky says they do have to do it. Yeah, just like what I just said, but higher price is better. Ivan, what's up, Ivan? Ivan, the car guy. He says, do you think AMC will run in 2025? It's hard to predict runs, Ivan, because the only catalyst I'll talk to you guys about is what? The unknown catalyst, which means something that happens that none of us are currently talking about. And Keith Gill was that catalyst in May. Keith Gill was the unknown catalyst that no one was talking about. All the other regulations, reverse repos, Evergrande, CAT system, I don't care about any of that, honestly, because everybody participating in the market knows about all that stuff. They can plan around it if it is even meaningful in the first place. First of all, you got to ask, is it really meaningful, or is this just a talking point for some people? If it is meaningful, and I'm not going to weigh in on any specific item, but if it is meaningful, why all these people with money know about it just like we do? They'll just plan around it. What do you think, Mediocre?
Yeah, I mean, they're not. Everybody knows about all that stuff. Foreign kitty stuff, that just came out of the blue, and it was like a powder keg, man. That just exploded everything, right? The unknown catalyst, but we don't really have anything that's unknown at the moment, outside of that.
I'd love to have another unknown catalyst. I like, I categorize short squeeze plays as anything that has reported short interest over 20%. So can you get FOMO run-ups on stocks that have lower than 20% or even some short squeeze action? Yes, but I don't really talk about any ticker as being a short squeeze play unless I see reported short interest over 20%. And I know the amount of shorted shares keeps going up with AMC, but so does the float. And that's what I'm actually talking about, the outstanding shares in my next video that's coming out right after this live stream. The current outstanding shares is higher than what anybody is seeing being reported right now. That is a fact. 295 is what the brokers show. It's what Bloomberg Terminal even shows, 295 million. That is not accurate info. I only found one source, and it's, guess what, Mediocre? One I got to pay a lot of money for that tells me that the accurate share count. What else we got? SH, what's up? He says, I have a hunch. Let me put some of these up on the screen for you guys. I have a hunch that they will only raise cash following a small gamma squeeze, perhaps right after news on debt restructuring. Cash raise. I see what you're saying, SH, but we think, much smarter people than me, and they've convinced me that some dilution, be it cash or debt for equity swap or both will be required as part of the debt restructuring. That's what I'm worried about. Ivan says, are you ever going to do the e-commerce video series? I'm thinking about it, Ivan, but we got a lot of Looney Tunes out there. And I don't need people harassing my businesses. Thinking about it. The best I can say to you guys is about e-commerce is find something that you enjoy doing, find something you can monetize. I don't do Amazon drop shipping or anything like that. That's very labor intensive. If you can monetize something, let me just give you an example. Ebook or a song or a set of drawings. If you have a skill, whatever your skill set is and that you can enjoy, where you just do the work one time and then monetize it and sell it over and over and over again, then you can sit back like me and trade all day and have people accuse you of not having a job. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Johnny Guitar, not everybody believes that, just so you know.
What do you say? What's up, Manuel?
Johnny Guitar says, we always said moon or zero. It just might be zero.
Yeah, I'm not a zero person. Never have been, Johnny.
Neither am I.
I was a squeeze person. I mean, I was very excited about the potential for, as you guys know, if you haven't been here before, I made money in the June 2021 squeeze. I had shares, I had call options. I sold the call options as it ran, made a lot of money. After it came down, I bought some more shares at too high of a price, hoping, like many of you, that there'd be a second squeeze on AMC like there was on GameStop, and we never really got that. And so I gave some of that money back, but I will never be read in this play. And I refuse to let all of my winnings from June 2021 go to zero on principle. I got a family to take care of. I got bills to pay, and I got other investments I want to make with that money.
That's right.
So I gave some of that money back. I held just like you guys from 2021 on those shares all the way till late 2023. And then I was like, this is enough. The company's running out of cash. We know that they're going to dilute. That was the whole point of the ape thing. And we got to change up the strategy. And in that period from 2021 to 2023, what else did I see? I saw community after community of traders with that mindset, hero or zero. I watched them all go to zero. And then they want to sue CEOs, FINRA, SEC. They want to sue everybody under the sun when they made a choice to go to zero. Okay, well, if you went to zero, then walk away. Why do you still have communities talking about this stuff a year later? You said you were fine with zero, move on. You got your lesson, move on to something else. No matter what stock I'm trading, I'm not going to write it to zero. I'll change up my strategy. And that's what we did starting in August, September of 2023. And I changed up my strategy on GameStop 2 years ago. I bet I've made more on GameStop with my piddly little trading than all of these people that have been holding it for the last 3 years, because I keep on buying it low and selling it high over and over and over every quarter for 2 years. I don't even need to own more shares than them, just in terms of profits, because I'm actively trading it. And then next time I buy more. I buy it low, sell it high. You hear these dummies on the other channel say, Tony always says he got in at the very bottom and sold at the very top. Guys, that is impossible. No one gets in at the very bottom. In my Discord, and sometimes on the charts, if I remember, up here on Webull, I post my exact entry. There's no misinformation here.
But I will tell you guys,
we try and get as close to the bottom and as close to the top as we can.
That's right. We get very good entries and pretty good exits as well. That is, but that's all based off of what we're looking at and what's happening in the market overall, right? You can see momentum dying off. It's all there. You can see all of it. It's not like I see something that you can't learn yourself, right, Tony?
Yep. That's why we're here, to talk to people about what are the basic things we look at. And what we're not looking at is social media all day, other than to see what other people are thinking. But we're not using social media theories for our trading choices.
Nobody. I hardly ever post anywhere.
That's true. Ethan says, I see AMC doing a convertible note. I think a lot of people would agree with you, Ethan, that they might do a convertible note. Sparky, do you have any thoughts you want to share in the chat that I can read out loud about concerns about AMC's capped at 550 million shares authorized, which, we're coming to the end of the runway here on authorized shares. And I think it might be a good, since tonight's AMC night, just a good point to talk about convertibles are going to count in however many, that they can't issue more convertibles than they have authorized shares. If you understand what I'm saying, if they needed 250 million shares as part of a convertible deal, they don't have them right now. Sparky says, he just did comment. All right, let's see. I think a convert is an eventual tool, but they have a couple steps. Like first, still may have to take more of the 10-12 pick toggle out and raise the share shelf converts. Are you saying raise the outstanding, the authorized share count, Sparky? Matt says, Tony, did you see the conspiracy that AMC will do a 4-for-1 split? I don't know.
He says, yes, raise authorized.
Raise authorized. If anything, Matt, what we're talking about right now with Sparky and with you guys about the cap on authorized shares, 4-for-1 split would be the opposite of what we're talking about. What we're talking about, if AMC is going to run into some cap issue on the number of authorized shares, there's only two ways to fix that, which is ask voters, shareholders, us, to approve more shares like they tried in 2021 and pulled the vote, because it requires half of outstanding shares to show up and vote yes. And we never get half of outstanding shares to show up. Or they could do another reverse split, which collapses the share structure. And let's just say they did a 4-for-1 reverse off of 400 million shares. If we were at a point where the outstanding was 400 million, they did a 1-for-4, then they'd have the outstanding shares would drop to 100 million, and they'd automatically have 450 million new shares to play with without having to increase the authorized shares. This is not a comfortable conversation for anybody. I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I'm just saying in the entire world of possibilities, a reverse split for that reason to get a convertible done is much more likely than a forward split. And Sparky, this is your area of expertise. Correct me if I'm wrong. And they need to leave some, on top of needing shares for a convert, they need to leave some for the emergency. Oh shit, what if we need more cash? Sparky says, all right, so I think he's going to contradict what I just said. I think if they say we are doing a convert and need shares but no reverse, holders would let them. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. So you're saying if Adam Aaron came to shareholders in a public forum and said what I just said, we have two options, guys. We need more shares to get the debt restructuring done, If I promise you, here's the rub. If he says, if I promise you that we don't do a reverse split, will you authorize more shares? If you don't authorize more shares, then we're going to be forced to put a reverse split to the vote. And that's a much easier hurdle for the company because they don't need half of everybody to vote for that. Under the new Delaware law passed in 2023, they only need half of the people that show up and vote. And I bet you they get that.
If we get close to that, I'm telling you right now.
If we get close to that, I don't know that I don't know that I would hold through that, Mediocre. I might buy back in after all the noise. But again, this is I don't want to unnecessarily scare people, but these are conversations that you should be aware of. At least, if you need a good sleepless night, just replay this conversation. If you don't want to have nightmares, well, then block this whole channel because you don't want to ever think about this conversation. But it is in the world of possibilities. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Sparky says that is the rub, but it would save a reverse if he could convince shareholders to approve another couple 100 million shares. I don't think any of us want another reverse split. None of us wanted the first one in the first place, but the Delaware law, and when they did the ape thing, the Delaware law about the change in voter thresholds to approve reverse, that didn't exist. It didn't exist till right about the time the judge's decision came down on the AMC ape lawsuit. So this is relatively new, that now you only need half of votes that show up to approve a reverse. Matt says it's good to talk about all the possibilities that could happen. That's how I view it, Matt. I know I'm not very popular because I talk about this stuff. And people call me a shill paid by a hedge fund. It's funny, Mediocre, in the same week to get called a paid hedge fund shill for talking about stuff like this. And then an hour later say I got paid by Adam Aaron. Like, I need to put both of these groups in a room and let them fight it out. Nobody pays me. Nobody pays me, but no matter, depending on what I say, I piss off one side or the other. All we're talking about is finance stuff.
I should tell them what I said to you before we came live.
Remind me what you said.
About your earpieces.
Oh, yeah. I got Ryan Cohen in this ear and Adam Aaron in this ear. Make sure that I stay on message.
Hey, you forgot somebody. Forgot somebody.
Sean Goodman?
Nope. Come on.
David Mishery?
Nope. Ken Griffin.
Oh, Ken Griffin. Hang on, I'm getting a call from Keith Gill.
Oh, fuck me, dude. That's funny shit.
Ethan says you can clearly see a cat in the 3-month chart on AMC. All right, are you looking at a daily, Ethan? What else we got? The Cullises says 25 is a strong resistance for GameStop. One of the lowest volume days for the stock this week. Yeah, we're going to do another GameStop live stream in maybe tomorrow or Friday. Listen to part 9 of Roaring Kitty, and we'll go over price action to GameStop. I think most people that I talk to that are traders are, there's no bankruptcy risk for GameStop. We want to see the money invested in something that brings in earnings. And until then, it's just going to trade on momentum, which is fine. And as a momentum trader, I need to either see upward momentum, or I need, for my risk, I need to see a price closer to 20. I'm not saying it's going to 20. I'm just saying for me to sleep at night. I'm still worried about some downside potential. So if I see it start taking off on the upward direction, I've got cash ready to deploy. I'm trying to be patient. How about you, Mediocre? You trading any GameStop?
I'm kind of waiting for it to come down, to be honest. But I'll say what I do. If I see a good opportunity to sell the $20 put, I'll do that.
That's a good way to ease into it. Sell the put, collect the premium. If it falls under 20 by a Friday, then you get the shares too under 20.
Yeah, that's generally what I do with GameStop. I don't want to pay more than that, right? Like that's like the high end of what I really want to pay.
SH says they can barely raise cash at $4 a share. Even at 200 million shares, they raise around 650. Yeah, I mean, what we don't know, maybe Sparky has thoughts on this. What we don't know, because we're not in the room, is what is the lender's. There's several pieces of this, and I'm going to speak for you, Sparky, because you shared your thoughts, your expertise with me. But if I skip something, drop it in the chat here. We don't know exactly how much cash a lender might require AMC to have to give them a good rate, or even to say they have a comfort level to do a debt refinancing. But here's kind of the basics. The more cash on the balance sheet, the better, because a lender is going to look at that as kind of like insurance. The more cash there, the less likely the company is going to run out of it. The other thing that helps the company is better box office, putting us in quarters where you have minimal to no cash burn, maybe even positive operating cash flow. And even, if you got positive operating cash flow and positive net income, these are all wins for the company, which is why all the smart people are saying AMC should wait to do anything till later this year. Maybe everything lines up. Maybe you get positive net income. Maybe you get positive operating cash flow. Maybe you get maybe even lower interest rates from the Fed.
Ethan, that's not true. The last ATM they did was at $4 or something like that.
I actually have it on a spreadsheet.
What they did at $7 was not an ATM. It was
debt for equity.
Yeah, debt for equity swap. That's why we didn't really get a major price drop. ATMs hurt us more, in my opinion.
Oh, sorry, my spreadsheet. I didn't put the May stuff in there yet. Here's what I have though. So these were the ATMs in September through January. I need to go in and put in the other ones.
Tony, I didn't know you did a spreadsheet on every one of them. God.
Oh yeah, and then I got this one that tracks the outstanding shares. But I need to combine these two spreadsheets.
I go back and look every freaking time.
Yeah, I got a spreadsheet. When I'm paying attention to a stock, I got a spreadsheet about anything when they're doing a lot of dilution. Like I had a spreadsheet for Bed Bath & Beyond. That's why I was telling those guys, you're going to get fucking wrecked. I had a spreadsheet for Mullen until it became a joke. I mean, I try and tell them, you're going to get wrecked. I've got all the filings here. The share count on the screen is not right. And you are going to get obliterated once you get updated share counts. And they always hate me. They never believe me, but we haven't been wrong yet.
I'll tell you what about spreadsheets, though. They track a lot of stuff. If you know how to work spreadsheets, you can be on top of your game.
Ethan says, how much debt have they paid since 2021? What do you know, Ethan? I have a spreadsheet for that. Let me pull that up here. This is AMC's debt by quarter. You guys think that I'm joking around. Corporate borrowings I track corporate borrowings, current liabilities, finance lease obligations, operating lease, finance lease liabilities, operating lease liabilities, total liabilities, and total debt, which is corporate borrowings plus the lease liabilities. That's total debt. And then I have a chart over here that I need to update the chart to include the data point for Q1. But at our peak, we were at 12.5 billion in total debt, including the lease liabilities and corporate borrowings. Right now, we're at 9.9. So 2.5 billion has been paid off since what quarter was this? Since Q4 of 2020, 2.5 billion. So I see people say AMC hasn't paid off anything. They've been raising all this money and squandering it. Not true. I mean, these numbers are from the quarterly reports. When I hear people say that, it just lets me know they're not looking at the documents from the company. Yes, with interest. They pay interest every quarter. These are the amounts due. These aren't the interest payment due. You want to know the interest payment every quarter is, where is it?
That's why we want to restructure too, because we want to get a better interest payment.
They're paying about, right now with the high interest rates from the Fed, thank you, Jerry Powell, about 360 million a year in interest, 90 million a quarter. It's been lower in the past. 71 million. But as rates keep going up and they added to their borrowings, you can see that interest payment keeps going up. Now that will drop if interest rates come down. Let's test Tony. Let's see what else might he have a spreadsheet on, Mediocre.
Tony Allen says, why do most people say debt is around 4.5 billion?
Excellent question.
That's Allen.
I got a chart for that.
I know you do.
I love this question. I love this question because I want you guys to be educated on this stuff. Let's look at this chart right here. Let's not look at that chart. Let's look at Google Slides. All right, here, view. The blue line is corporate borrowings. That's what I call debt. That's money that the company borrowed. The red line is total debt, which includes the lease liabilities. So when you sign a lease, you got to take 5 years, the next 5 years of that lease and add it to the debt. And then you get corporate borrowings plus lease liabilities equals total debt. So the corporate borrowings, what I call debt, is 4-point-something billion. Where'd my cursor go? Right here, the blue line. If you add in lease liabilities, that'd be like me saying to you, add up all your mortgage payments or your rent for your apartment for the next 5 years and add that to your debt. Now give me a balance sheet of how much you owe. Is that really fair? You're going to pay that mortgage payment or that lease. Why do you need to add it to debt? It's a liability. I get it, but here in 2016, the company increased corporate borrowings and lease liabilities a little bit with the acquisition of 3 competitors. That was in Q3, Q4 of 2016. And then in Q1 of 2019, we had an accounting rule change in the US, ASC 842, which forced all US corporations that had lease liabilities to put them on the balance sheet. So if you go back and look at AMC's historical debt, you'll see, boom, this big slam up in 2016, and you'll see another big slam up in total debt in Q1 of 2019, AMC didn't do anything. They didn't go buy anything. Adam Aaron didn't go waste any money in 2019. That was an accounting rule change, and everybody got affected by it. You can go find the same increase on GameStop. Anybody that had a lease liability. So hopefully that makes sense to you. I don't report on total debt. I just look at the corporate borrowings, the blue line. Sparky says lease obligations to a bond guy are not super important. Well, maybe I have a future as a bond guy, Sparky, unless the locations are closed or not generating enough money to pay the lease. Let's see what else we got. Jeffrey says, I'd love to see the Trump-Biden debate played at AMC theaters. That's a great idea, Jeffrey. I like that one. Anya says, do you have a spreadsheet on how much you spend on your trips to AMC theaters? Anya, that is a good idea. I do not have that.
You should, because
I bet I spend most of these people that call me a shill. They say I'm paid by a hedge fund, but I bet if I stacked up how much I spend at AMC every month to them, I would I'd bury all of them. Mediocre.
You probably spend more at AMC theaters than they have invested in the stock.
I mean, just me and my wife. I'm like, okay, babe, it's Wednesday. Can we just go light on the food budget at the AMC theater? Oh, but the popcorn and the pretzels and the almonds, and do you mind if I get the bacon loaded tots? And do you want a beer? All of a sudden we're $60 in for two people. So yeah, that if I take her, typically I have the A list. I don't have it for her because she doesn't go to every movie with me. So if I'm taking her, we're paying for her ticket plus $60 plus on food and drinks for two people every time. And if I'm going by myself, then I will skip breakfast, try to go to a lunchtime movie and have my food at the dine-in theater, which is pizza and a beer, 16 plus 10. Let's call it $30. Now do that over and over many times per week. This dude what?
This dude will jump in his truck in the middle of the day and be like, I'm going to see a movie.
That's what we did today. I went into my wife. She was off work today. I went in at noon. I was like, well, I already got all my trades done. Pick a movie. I said, you can pick The Exorcist or the Watchers. And so she watched the trailers real quick and let me know which one she wanted to go see. And we went at 2:45. Yeah. It's great, Mediocre, when you don't have a job, as they like to say, or when you work for yourself. You have a lot of freedom to do things. But some people will tell you go get a job, Mediocre. I
don't know nothing about any of that, Tony. I'm just a deadbeat. You know what I mean?
I know. You're just selling options for pennies. You're hopeless.
Hopeless life I live.
Brandon says, by the way, guys, I did do corporate for 15 years, 60 to 80 hours a week. So don't think that I haven't put in my time working a job. In addition, when I was going to college, I was in the military reserves and I had a full-time job. I worked my ass off until my 40s when I decided not to work for anybody again. Brandon says, what if AMC surprises us with a profit because of all the toggle switches and shutdown of non-performing locations? I don't know, Brandon, that they could do that. I have a spreadsheet of how many locations they've closed. I'm going to spreadsheet y'all out. but they're just not closing them fast enough for it to make a meaningful difference.
To be honest, Tony, I think they're actually interested in all the spreadsheets you do have.
Where is that? All this random data so I can have it ready for you guys when you ask questions. Here we go. This is a comparison of AMC versus Cinemark, but what we want to look at is this tab. This is all of AMC's theaters operated since 2019 and number of screens operated, plus how many they add or delete every quarter. And you can see back in 2019, they had 1,001 theaters, 10,995 screens. And as of Q1, 895 theaters. So that's over 100 closed and still around 10,005 screens. So 990 screens closed. The average disposal per quarter in the last year has been 30 to 50 average. Let's call it 50. Screens, not theater locations. So if you figure each location has what? 4 to 8 screens, 50 locations. Maybe we get 10 locations closed. Maybe we get more closed. I would like to see more locations closed, but every non-performing location they can close makes our numbers better. Brandon, you're on the right track. Is it going to be enough to give us a surprise in Q2? I think we're too far off this quarter, but eventually it's going to get to the point where closing non-performing locations and box office go up, find a sweet spot. And that's why Adam and Sean keep saying we're not going to need pre-COVID box office numbers to be successful. You guys, you know what I'm saying, right? They've closed over 100 locations. They have more premium large format screens now than back then. Prices of tickets and food and beverage are higher. All we need is a little bit more box office. We need Hollywood to cooperate, and we're not going to need a $12 billion domestic box office. So it's survive until those two lines cross.
We're going to survive, Tony. We're going to make it. We're going to make it. I have faith.
The color says,
Tony,
you have faith in AMC or the box office?
I have faith in Sean Goodman.
Sean, he rides under the radar just like you ride under the radar, Mediocre. I think that man's pulling a lot of levers. Adam Aaron takes all the heat. Sean just like, bloop, 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 bloop.
I would say you're probably correct.
He's doing all the negotiating, writing up all the deals. And Adam's just like, deflecting bullets off his chest, getting the arrows in the back.
The silverback.
The Cullis says, I hope both GameStop and AMC get their deserved runs. I do too. Yes. For everybody's sake. Excited for Deadpool and Wolverine. Yes, I already have my tickets bought for that movie. Brandon, thank you.
I want to see everybody win, you guys. Everybody. Even the people who hate us.
The Billie Eilish thing, Lux, was a discount ticket deal with just one showing, if I'm not mistaken. So, no, it's a blip. I'm not counting on it for anything, to be honest. It's better than a nothing, but was not even a fraction of Beyonce. But more of those, please. Bring us all of those.
I'm good with, baby. Bring it in.
Yeah. Bring me 50 Billie Eilish deals a year. Everything they can do, anything they can do. I'm not down putting the Billie Eilish
The money,
deal.
baby.
Bring more of them. But
the money, Tony. We want the money.
yeah, I'm just saying that one by itself is not meaningful enough to matter.
But do more of it, Adam. More.
Now they have a VP of what do they call it? A VP of distribution. They have that lady that they hired a couple months ago. So you guys, if you've worked in corporate, you know what I'm talking about. You bring on a VP that's dedicated to this. To someone now has their full-time job is to find these deals. Imagine all these guys trying to run around, bail water out of the fucking ship, not let the company go bankrupt. They don't have time to be talking with every artist out there to set these deals up. But now they have someone whose entire job is to find more like these, and give her time to cook, give her time to network. I'm hopeful that we start seeing some more positive stuff now that we have someone dedicated to doing this. I think
Tony,
the other ones kind of fell in their lap.
Tony, put up Alan's comment. I love it. I love it, Tony.
Alan?
Alan's my friend.
This one, I'm curious if
The one.
Cinemark is in a way better position profit-wise. Why don't you seem to talk about it as much as AMC? Is it a better trade or investment? Mostly because I don't need the death threats, Alan.
I made a lot of money, Alan, on Cinemark. I won't lie to you. I left AMC for a while. I'll tell everybody, I don't care. I made quite a bit of money on AMC, on Cinemark, and I came back to AMC because of where we were at. But I do tend to agree with you. But Tony, you want to explain why, though?
Yeah, let me just tell you, I do talk about Cinemark in the Discord frequently. Talk about IMAX. I talk about, now I'm starting to have conversations with people about MCS, Marcus Theater Corp. It's a movie theater operator and a hotel operator. And I've been doing quarterly earnings reviews of Cinemark and IMAX for over a year now. You can find those on my channel. And I have comparison charts which show things like, let's see if I can find my dashboard, which shows how they compare. Where is that spreadsheet? Oh, stock valuation. No, not that one. This one. This is AQST. Hang on, I got a bunch of tabs on this sheet. As I do videos on a particular company, I'll create a dashboard for you guys. If you just want to know, does he hate this company, or why is he not super favorable? If it's all green, then anything that someone on Wall Street would look at, anybody not emotionally tied to the play would look at, would say this is a good buy. Then you got to do your valuation analysis, but like safety wise, if it's all green, it's safe. Like look at Rivian. Last time I looked at it, ouch. But Cinemark, the things that I had on them is they have some convertible bonds. Other than that, they have a couple of other debt to equity ratio, 11.47, and return on equity negative. And they had a high short interest, which gets them a red. Like when you see high short interest, you want to go understand why. And I think my leading theory on that is that it might be due to the convertibles.
But Tony,
yeah,
are they profitable?
Yeah. Look at IMAX. IMAX looks beautiful. It's all green. It's all green on IMAX. Like this is one, if you want a safety plate. In fact, I own some IMAX. What is it trading at right now? Why would I own IMAX? Because I pay a lot of attention to the movie industry. I'm very familiar with the numbers and what the industry is going to do. And if I think that the price is undervalued, and I think that the industry is going to recover, then why wouldn't you buy IMAX when it's cheap?
Absolutely.
My cheapest here's I just started buying it. I didn't get the absolute bottom. Let's put this screen up here.
And I wouldn't say IMAX is a competitor, but as an AMC shareholder, don't you want to know what the competitor is doing and how they're?
That's why I started doing the videos, just because everyone would say, why is such and such going up and AMC isn't? Well, because I mean, look at this. The dashboard's all green.
I want to know.
It's a play that institutions can get behind. I bought at $14.99 and I have a price target of $21.25 over the next 12 months. Is it a short squeeze play, or are you going to have a run to $100 on IMAX? No. But if I can get a run up from $14.99 to $21 in a quarter and then rotate out of it, or if the industry is looking like it's going to go higher, then take some off the table and let the rest ride.
Tony, how do you always time the bottom and the top?
I didn't time the bottom. I mean, look, I should have bought it here. That was 2020. I wasn't really looking at IMAX back in 2020, and I could have bought it for $13.20 in February. But the more I looked at the numbers, the more I was like, I should have at least a little piece of this. It's if you are following the movie industry, you can sleep pretty easy at night, but it's not a short squeeze candidate. They only have 6% short interest. So if you're expecting to get rich off of IMAX, that's not likely to happen in terms of like hundreds of percent gain. Not going to happen.
But if you understand an industry, you could take advantage of it because you're researching the industry, right?
Yep. Yeah, I would say to anybody, Cinemark is profitable. IMAX is profitable. They have good balance sheets. But if your main interest lies in high return, high risk, short squeeze, probably neither one is for you. All I'll say is, let me put Mediocre up here. Understand when we say high risk is that means very high risk. You got to be willing to own up to your own choice. I know this is high risk buying AMC, and I'm okay if it goes to zero. I'm okay if they dilute more. I understand that they're not profitable yet, and I'm not going to blame Tony or Mediocre or Trey or Adam Aaron or Jerome Powell. I made the choice to hit the buy button, and I will own that. That's what I need from you guys. Too many people, when things don't work out, well, no one told us it was high risk. I mean, guys, there's 5 pages of risk factor warnings in AMC's 10Q. Why aren't you reading those?
So when the Clown News Network tells you, this is what we think, it's because we're reading stuff. We're looking at stuff.
The great thing is, if we're right, we get outsized returns. If we're right on AMC and you're buying it at $4 and maybe without any short squeeze, it hits 20 in the next 2 years, you're going to get 5x your money just off a regular earnings and a reasonable PE ratio, just potentially. You're not going to get that I don't think you get that on an IMAX or a Cinemark. You're not going to get a 400% return. But with high reward comes very high risk.
Does Cinemark have phantom shares, Tony?
I don't know. Wired brings up a good point. And yes, we talk about this often. Once the industry is bringing in enough box office for AMC to be profitable, it will generate more revenue because of their market share. That is absolutely correct. That's why I'm saying if we can get the damn box office, if we can get Hollywood to cooperate, AMC is built for big box office. They will excel more than all of these other companies. And even if they still had $3 billion in debt, it doesn't matter because
more movies, please.
They're going to be throwing off positive net income and positive operating cash flow. The amount of debt does not matter at that point. Right now, it's just an overhang that we got to freaking deal with because we don't have enough box office to bring in profits.
And honestly, it's not even a COVID issue anymore, guys. That's past. We got past that. The problem was the writer's strike. That whole strike crap hurt us badly. And people didn't want to believe that.
Anya asked if I have a dashboard for SoFi. I actually don't see one here, Anya. But we need to get a freaking SoFi live stream done, and I owe you guys an update. I've been buying SoFi. Anya and I talked about it today. I owe you guys an update on SoFi. What did I tell you the next support level was, Anya, on SoFi? Around 605. So I might grab a little bit more around 610 if it sees that, and then just pray that 605 support holds. But it's a little bit unknown what SoFi is going to do, Anya. A lot of people negative on it right now. That's why I'm not trying to rush out videos on SoFi until I feel reasonably comfortable that it's a safe time to be talking about it. Because as soon as I make a video, they're going to say I'm pumping it. And then if it drops to 550, then what? Oh, you were wrong, dude. Well, I didn't tell you to buy it. I covered the financials. That's what we try and do. Thank you, Bill. This hat is actually the hat that what's his name wore in The Godfather. I'm having a senior moment. Oh, he was talking to you, Mediocre, not me. Sorry. Nice hat, man.
No, thank you, sir.
I don't know.
He's probably got one that's just as nice, I'm sure.
Anya says May is saying SoFi is being misanalyzed. I hope so, Anya. I want to get her on. She's paying a lot more attention to it than I am. But before I do, I need to refresh my DD. I keep buying it as it's going down, and I'm relying on old DD. Rich says it's 4 a.m. in Paris right now. Be interesting to see how Olympics and AMC theaters affect screen usage. That's right. They're showing that. Is that in the U.S. they're showing that, or in Europe, or both?
I don't know.
Wired Ape says no more Hollywood strikes. Thank you for the update on that. I have been neglectful in keeping up with that other strike that was going on.
He says we both have nice hats, Tony. He's trying to suck up to you, Tony, I think.
Nah.
I'm only kidding, Bill.
I think Al Pacino is the one that I was trying to think of. He wore this hat in one of the movies. Not this exact hat, but
a similar hat, Tony?
Yeah.
The style was the same.
Yes. Of course, he had on the clothes and the whole vintage look behind him, the perfect lighting, and he's, in a way more handsome than I am, Mediocre. So he looked much better in it than I did.
Listen, I need to go back in time. Like, I was not made for this time,
I know. All right. What other questions y'all got? AMC questions. We're trying to knock out whatever. Throw whatever you got at us. Want to make sure that we get them all in one focused night. Just a recap, if you're just joining in, I did start buying again last Friday. I'd still prefer to be buying in under $4, but I don't know if I'll get that. Box office this quarter, June, ending here in June, is coming in better than I thought when we were starting out the beginning of June. So I'm very happy about that. Company's still going to lose money. There'll still be a little bit of cash burn, but not as bad as I was worried about. And then if we believe that the industry expectations for 2024 is $8 billion box office domestic, that means that Q4 and Q3 are going to be pretty damn good, like potentially profitable quarters. So I'm excited about the rest of this year if industry expectations hold up. And then we have good expectations for 2025, 2026. So our whole point of talking about and trading this stock the first half of this year was just surviving with the best strategy we had on trading it and get positioned with keeping the potential risk of dilution in mind as part of the debt restructuring, get the best position we can per share price wise, leading into the optimistic expectations going forward. And I don't know that I will get that perfect, but I'm going to do the best I can.
Well, the reason why we're paying so much focus on AMC, to be totally honest with you, is because there's a lot of investors in AMC that respect due diligence that Tony and I have. Ultimately, that's my opinion of why we're doing this. Because when we do a GME video, people ask questions about AMC, and we wanted to give them an opportunity to ask questions.
And there's just a lot of misinformation from the conspiracy channels that I'm not too fond of, and they all hate me for that. But it's not going to stop me from explaining the financials and how I think the company is thinking. Will I always be right? No, we've gotten some things wrong, but I mean, if you weigh the vast majority of the things that we've covered, we've gotten way more correct than they have. The Cullises, Godspeed to you, friend. Thank you. Yeah, we do cover a lot of other stocks in the Discord. I'm not a full-time YouTuber. I make videos as I have time, or if I see something that was particularly offensive, like how bad the misinformation was, or I think that it could lead people to make a really bad decision, I'll make a video about it. But I mean, there's so much misinformation. It could be a full-time job, just popping out 5 videos a day correcting people. I don't have the time or the inclination, and nothing that I say is going to stop these people from believing their little conspiracies and lying to people about stuff. So I don't waste my time, and their followers aren't my followers anyways. So they can keep on making their bad decisions based on bad DD. That's on them. But if you want a little more balanced view, we're still going to be here.
So I'll say this. That's why we tell people it's a high risk play. You could lose your money. That's a fact. So I mean, we're out here telling people. I'm not telling people they're not. So I respect your comments, but we do tell people that's what we think. But I own shares right now of AMC, just for the record.
Can you tell me in English how to say your name? I was going to say Pinyin, but Pinyin is Chinese. I can't read Korean. But thank you for the comment. He says, I've seen people trying to hate and mocking Tony over AMC. Oh yeah, happens all the time. They're mad because I provide evidence-based facts and they provide conspiracy stuff. And typically evidence beats hope, speculation, and conspiracy every time. Option trader. Okay, that's what we're going to remember, that one.
Well, that's good because we're options traders as well.
Charlie says, is there any chance of a company like Disney or a rival like Cinemark acquiring AMC? just my opinion, and Sparky or someone else that is in the industry, feel free to weigh in. I don't know right now why AMC would be a compelling buy to anybody, because they have over $4 billion in debt. They have no real assets. And what does that make the enterprise value of AMC? About $5.5 billion or so. I'm just ballparking it. I could pull it up and see, but why is someone going to pay $5 or $6 billion for AMC to take on $4 billion in debt on a money losing company? If I was someone that wanted to buy AMC, I would pray that they went bankrupt and then hopefully make a cheap offer. That's what I would do. Could somebody with a ton of money that doesn't care about the debt make an offer? Sure.
That's possible. What irritates me, Tony, though, when people don't want to talk about equity raises, right? Like they want to ignore the fact that it's a possibility when we absolutely need that to survive. You know what I mean? Like I don't want that's what you got right now. You need to do what you can to protect your portfolio. That's my whole point of why I come on here and talk to people.
Devil May Rage says, not naming names, but being bombastic is counterproductive at this point. I agree. All these people name calling, insulting. When you're seeing someone name calling and insulting, I kind of, in good fun, I'm poking at them with our thumbnail today, people that call me a clown. That name calling is a defense mechanism they have for not being able to actually provide facts for anything they talk about. And no one will debate me because they don't have the facts. And even if they did say, I'll debate you, I guarantee you, I will bet you money within 2 minutes of the debate starting, it's going to change to personal attacks. Well, how do I know that? Because I do engage with people on Twitter, and that by the second post, they're already, oh, were you the one that said this? Is this true about you? Stick to debating the facts here. Like, bring me your evidence, bring me your facts. Let's have a debate. But they don't want to do that. So they do the insulting, bombastic stuff because they're coping. It's a defense mechanism.
That's why, like, when we get called like the Clown News Network, right? You know, it's I laugh about it. I actually enjoy
hilarious.
It. I love it. Keep it up. Thank you. You know, like they call me Ted Cruz or Fat Teddy or whatever. I don't give a shit, people. I really could care less. You're not going to hurt my fucking feelings. I laugh about it every day, don't I, Tony?
We're going to make this into a whole new show, Mediocre. Soon as I have time to get some more work done on the CNN Clown News Network stuff, we're going to not only do the intro of the Clown News Network. Let's run that again, Mediocre, just for the folks that just joined in. We're going to feature other YouTubers for, you want to call me out. I'm going to feature you with what you got wrong and blast it with the actual facts. I don't do a lot of that right now, but keep it up and you're going to become a featured news item on CNN.
That's funny.
I love
Andrew
it.
says Ted Cruz is pretty fucking funny. I think it's funny. I don't care.
It is pretty funny.
I actually enjoy it, to be honest. I won't lie.
Yeah, Justin says the GME guys talk so much shit about y'all and they don't do 1 ounce of TA. They try and do TA, but they don't really know what they're talking about over there, unfortunately. Oh, he says you don't need to do TA. Well, again, my thoughts on the whole GME analysis, they only want to focus on the cash on the balance sheet. And by doing that, it's a diversion tactic because they know they can't talk about anything related to earnings. Go to stockanalysis.com or Yahoo Finance and look up Best Buy versus GameStop on ROA, return on assets, ROE, return on equity, ROIC, return on invested capital. Look at the PE ratios. Look at anything related to earnings. You'll see that based on current numbers, even with $4 billion on the balance sheet, the only thing you could say good about GameStop is they have
$4 billion in cash.
Yeah, they have $4 billion in cash, but even with an $11 book value per share, cash sitting on the balance sheet is useless, and no one on Wall Street is going to give you credit for that. This is their big mistake that they keep making, which is why I'm covering more GameStop now to bring some sanity into the discussion. They have the ability to pivot that outlook and get analyst upgrades when they invest that money into something. So there's potential with GameStop. I'm not negging GameStop. Just saying anybody that's telling you, look at the book value, it should be $50 based on book value alone. These other companies don't have 5x book value because of cash. They have 5x book value because they actually have a multiple of earnings per share. That's what they have. Book value is an afterthought for these other companies.
Anya, his name is Options Trader.
I know that's complicated talk for any of you haven't taken an accounting or finance class, but stick around and we'll keep talking about it. One day I'll do a video on it for GameStop, but I've had the video ready to go for weeks, but why be a wet blanket when it's a momentum trade right now anyways? The only reason I even talk about it is I use that information to make sure I'm not overpaying for GameStop right now. My analysis, Wall Street's analysis of it, is it should be pushed down a little bit more. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. If it goes up, I will jump in. I'm ready to go if the momentum changes. But
Frankie's being funny again, Tony.
But without earnings, the likelihood is, or Roaring Kitty news could change it. Ryan Cohen news, Larry Ching. There's a lot of things that can change a momentum play on a dime. But these guys should stop talking about the financials because they don't really know what they're talking about. Book value, nobody cares. Nobody cares about book value unless the market cap is under book value, and it's not. Option Trader says, no hate, respect for what you do. Your info is very important. Thank you, my friend. Eight Fathers Manchild says, please look at ChargePoint and Fubo if I can. He went long on ChargePoint. I did own some ChargePoint a couple of years ago, and I had to get out of it. I haven't looked at it recently, but I will. All right, which Frankie comment is he talking about? The SFS PCAs?
No, he said he said breaking news: Ryan Cohen's donating $4 billion to AMC. He's just being a smart ass, dude.
I'm trying to find it so I can laugh too.
It's at the top. Most recent.
I can't find. Oh, breaking news. Ryan Cohen is donating $4 billion to AMC. Yeah, I see a lot of people saying, maybe Ryan Cohen could buy AMC or pay off some of their debt. No, that ain't going to happen, guys. And I understand why you're saying that, but they need to invest their money. GameStop needs to invest their money in a company that brings them earnings. That's the one thing they're lacking is earnings. And the forecast on their core business is not good.
No, I don't think Ryan Cohen's stupid. I think he's gonna make sure he does good with that money.
I think he's a smart guy, and I think he's going to be actively looking for, I hope so, anyways, a productive way to put that money to use. And then you get analyst upgrades, and then people's wishes come true. But it's
who you think smarter, Tony?
All you can say now is I hope that happens.
Who you think smarter, Tony? Ryan Cohen or Sean Goodman?
Oh fuck, man.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. Sufjan. I'm going to let Mediocre handle this one. I'm going to grab another beer.
Oh God, Sufjan. I don't know. I mean, it seemed a little cringe to me. I'll just say that. You know, it was very awkward. That's all I know.
Yeah, I don't want to criticize other people, Sufjan, for supporting a company they love. The thing that I found odd about it was almost everybody that was interviewed didn't shop at GameStop or ordered games digitally, which kind of reinforces our concern on the core business. And I found it odd that said YouTuber was pumping a credit card with a ridiculously high interest rate, which is fine if you want to do that. But on the back of making fun of AMC's credit card for the same thing, I just find that kind of, if it's a credit card for AMC, it's awful. But here, get this high interest credit card for GameStop and you're golden. When I see people that can't be consistent in how they analyze things, it makes me question their motives.
Yeah, the thing I didn't like about it, though, I'll tell you honestly, is because I don't think it really helped GameStop. You know what I mean? I understand why he did it, and I don't hate why he did it, right? He loves the company, and he wants the company to succeed. I have no problem with that. It's just that I don't really think that it was beneficial to what the company needs. You know what I mean?
I have no problem with him doing it. I'm just going to point out the credit card inconsistency. If you're going to hate on something, hate on it for everybody, including yourself. Have you heard me hyping the AMC credit card? No. Do I have one? No. Why? Because the interest rate is ridiculous. And I would say the same thing about GameStop. Oh, well, just pay it off every month. Okay. Just pay off the GameStop credit card every month. Don't you think an AMC person could do that too? You didn't say that. You just went on a hour-long rant about how awful the AMC card was, but now you're out there on the streets telling people to get a GameStop one. It's just this inconsistency of message I find very disturbing. Hypocrisy is the right word, Anya. Thank you. It leads one to believe that someone has a bias that they won't admit to themselves or their viewers. I'll tell you straight up, I have not made to my knowledge, not made a AMC credit card video. I've told you guys, don't even count on revenue for the company from the AMC credit card, and I do not have one.
And I'll admit this, right? I understand he's passionate about GameStop, and that's all fine, right? I'm passionate about trading stocks. Okay, I trade. I'm not a buy and hold guy. I'm sorry if you don't like that. That's just not what I'm willing to do. Okay, I'm in the market to make money. I trade. You may not like traders, but that's what I do, right?
Hey, there's traders all over the world trading GameStop. So, why he picks on certain people that are trading it, I don't know. If it's offensive to you, fine. Just focus on your channel. If we're over here making money, let us make money. We're all buying the stock. Sometimes we sell it if it runs up way over fair value, and then we buy it again when it comes back down. Not like we're shorting the fucking stock.
Yeah, I don't short anything. I'm not interested in that.
Anyhow, there's some people mediocre, even in some AMC YouTubers, they only want you to buy one stock.
Yeah.
I think that is also that's a very dangerous message. You should have diversity in your portfolio.
Well, that's why I brought it up too, because how are you going to be mad at me because I trade, right? Like, you're an investor. Be an investor. That's fine with me. But don't try to tell me how to invest my money. It's none of your fucking business what I do with my money. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to buy and I'm going to sell your stock. It's just that simple, and you're not going to stop me. I don't care. That's the end of the argument.
Sparky says the credit cards are marketing. That's how I view them, Marky. I've talked about Sparky. Sparky, I've talked about the credit cards.
Uh-oh. Hold on, let me mute.
Amber alert. I've talked about the credit cards, both AMC in particular, as a marketing thing. It builds brand awareness, and they get some data about you. And so it is helpful to the company. I don't know that AMC makes a lot of money off of it. I don't know if GameStop makes a lot of money off of theirs. I don't really care. AMC's biggest issue right now is box office. Credit card's not going to save it.
I got some weather warnings. Give me a minute. I'll be right back.
Weather warning. Okay. Who's excited, speaking of tornadoes, to see the Tornadoes movie? Anybody? Do y'all remember the first ones? Twister, I think. What's this one called? Twisters? And besides me, is anybody else a Kevin Costner fan, or any of y'all interested in Horizons? I don't even know that movie. I was talking to my wife. I was like, I don't think the expectations for Horizon are very good. She's like, what? How would they not want to go see Kevin Costner in a Western movie? I'm like, I know, right? How could you not? Robert says, could GameStop pick up some inventory from Radio Shack? I don't know, Robert. I mean, the world is their oyster of what they decide to do. Yeah, I will support whatever Ryan does as long as he tells me, here's our expected earnings from this endeavor. I think Ryan is a smart guy, and I hope he does something smart with the money for everybody's sake. It kind of pissed me off, that article on GameStop that came out today that called them a ineffective bank. Oh, if Ryan just invested the money in T-bills and made $100 million a year in interest, that's not really good. Well, did he say he was going to do that? Why are you going to write an article? You're just an idiot, whoever wrote that article. Now, if he does it and you want to criticize him after the fact, all right. But I think most of us think that he's looking for some investment. I mean, that's what I want to hear from him. It's just problematic because we're not getting any clear messaging from him what they're going to do. And they'll tell you on the GameStop channels, he's not going to give away his secrets. Well, most companies, newsflash, most companies give guidance. That's what people want to hear. You can say it's a strategic advantage to not tell investors anything. Wall Street is not going to ever be on your side. You're going to be mad at them for not being on your side. It's management's fault because the management's not giving guidance. So I hope sometime soon we get some guidance.
I'm back.
You got no tornadoes coming in your backyard, do you?
No, it could happen. I don't know if it's gonna, but I just wanted to go warn my family real quick, so they know what's up.
Yeah. Do you guys have a basement?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We get tornadoes here and nobody has a basement. You dig down about 6 inches, you hit solid limestone here.
If I get knocked out, it's
we're gonna wrap up here pretty soon. Let's
we don't
get
have to. I just want you to know that's why.
Okay. Tech We Love says that we saw Inside Out 2 tonight. My friend and I agree, even better than the first one. I watched on your guys' recommendation. We pre-watched Inside Out 1. I had never seen it, so we paid for the streaming and watched it. And I would agree with you. Inside Out 2 was better than Inside Out 1. It's not really my preferred genre of movie, but it was very well written, very funny. And I can see why it's doing so well. Justin says, ripped off my roof the other night in Michigan. Holy shit. Sorry to hear about that, Justin.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, Justin. I hope that don't happen to me. I got trees here, big ones, so that's what I'm worried about, to be honest with you guys. But we'll see what happens.
We had one, I remember when I was working my corporate job, we had one, I was at work and the alarms went off and everybody, sheltered in place. I got home and I had built a fairly large doghouse for my golden retriever. Mediocre, it got thrown all the way across the yard.
Yeah.
So I know that we had high winds in my area. A little bit of my soffit got ripped off in one corner, but I didn't have any major damage. But a couple miles away, an entire grocery store got demolished, along with a few dozen houses. So we can get them here. There's really not much you can do in Texas except pray, because there's nowhere to go if a tornado comes. There's no basement. I grew up, my younger years in Nebraska and North Dakota, and remember the whole sheltering in the basement thing. But you can't do that here. I'm glad to hear you have one, Mediocre.
Oh, yeah. I got one. I should be good. I'm not too concerned with what's going on, but it could knock down some trees and power lines and shit like that.
Frank says he got hit by one, 80,000 damage to my house. Holy hell, Frank. Any other questions? Preguntas? Dímelo. Pregúntame.
Wizard of Oz was classic. Now that's a good movie, Anya. I told you I was born in the wrong time. I did like that movie.
If you're watching this on replay, thank you, first of all. And if you have questions, drop them in the comments after we're done here. Questions about AMC, questions about GameStop, questions about other tickers. I only have so much free time during the day, but I have a long list of other tickers that I'm trying to get videos done on. We got a little distracted here in the last month with all the action going on with AMC and GameStop. Let's see. What else has been going on? Oh, we had the Rivian thing. Rivian got an investment from VW. I posted on that today on Twitter and the community tab. Just a couple of thoughts for you guys on that. Mullen, I'm not a Mullen investor, but I saw that they had another 75 million share offering. What else have we been talking about, Anya or Mediocre? Hawaii Electric down at 920 today. That's one that we're playing. I do have puts on Rivian, which I did not end up getting out of today. I think I was up 40 or 50% on those. I'll wait and see what the morning looks like.
I asked you about them.
Mediocre, how many times have we had this conversation where I say I should have sold because I was really, really up? and then the next day it goes the wrong direction.
Why didn't you sell that shit, Tony?
Because we went to a fucking movie. And right when I was walking out the door, it started pivoting the wrong direction. I was waiting for it to go below $14. It got down to 14.12 and then rallied up the other direction. So I'm not in the red, but I have some that expire Friday and some that expire in July. So I at least want to get rid of the Friday ones tomorrow. God, that fucking big ass candle at the end of the day. Last fucking it wasn't even that big. Sorry, I was looking at the weekly. It wasn't that bad. Went from 14.17 up to 14.70. I still got a chance tomorrow for it to come down a little bit. The VW deal got announced as a $5 billion deal, and as I was reading the filings, I was like, this is not a $5 billion deal. This is $1 billion in convertible stock at a convert price of 1082. 1082. The stock was trading at 18, $17. and the Volkswagen's gonna be allowed to convert at 1082. That's a horrible for anybody that's buying in Rivian at $18. And the other 4 billion is promised a couple of years from now, if this and that. They're all with contingencies. So it wasn't a $5 billion deal. It's potentially a $5 billion deal. But, maybe mediocre people can be very bullish about wonky news longer than my puts can last. So we'll see.
So Tony, if you ever need the Volkswagen squeeze footage, I know a guy. Yeah, baby, I got him. Oh, that's great.
You got a guy who filmed it live, huh?
I don't know if he filmed it live, but he claimed it was his video.
Sufyan, what's up?
Oh, man.
Sufyan says, will you consider going back live during the day? I am live during the day, active on Discord, Sufyan. Most days I'm in voice chat in Discord as much as I can be. And if nobody has questions, I'm looking through as I have free time and answering questions in the different chat rooms. But live on YouTube all day, I mean, it interferes with my trading, and it prevents me from doing research for other investments that I want to make. The type of research I do could take me days to properly research one company. If I'm live for 6.5, 8 hours, how would I ever have time to get that stuff done? And it lengthens my work day, because then if I want to do a video on a specific topic, now I just burned 6.5, 7 hours doing a live stream. So would I enjoy them? I enjoy them a lot, but 7 hours unpaid doing a live stream, I don't know. That's a good chunk of my day going by with essentially no pay that I could put to more productive use. Maybe, Sufyan, if I did it as a members only chat, or I don't know. I hate to go the Matt Kors route where you only answer super chat questions. I enjoy answering questions for you guys. You know that because I'm here every night doing it. But I think if I ever do it live again during the day, it might be under a different format to make it worth my time. I mean, it is an investment of my time. And you guys, if you don't know, YouTube does not pay that much.
Tony,
for your time.
Want to answer this comment here? Newbie investor here. Your view on portfolio.
Portillo.
He means portfolio.
No, I don't think he does mean that. What? Can you clarify?
I could be wrong.
I think he means ticker PTLO, maybe. The restaurant, is that what we're looking at?
Maybe he'll respond.
I'm giving him a minute.
I misunderstood his question then.
IPO'd back in 2022, ran up to $57, currently trading at $9. We're generally not big fans of covering stocks that have a chart going this direction. But when we look at them, huh?
Yeah, it's a restaurant. You're on the right one.
So when we look at them, first thing we do is look at the chart. All right, so it's done nothing but go down. Next thing to do, I'll just do a quick analysis for you guys of what I would look at in 5 minutes to decide if it's then worth a few hours of my time. Move to new window. PTLO.
I didn't even know that was a restaurant.
Yeah, I've heard of it. PTLO. All right, so we'll look at a couple things real quick, and I have videos for you guys on my channel how to look at a balance sheet, an income statement, and a cash flow statement in 5 minutes without an accounting degree, and determine if it's worth your time. This is a great website, stockanalysis.com. First thing I do is just start out looking at what are the analysts forecasting before I go look at the financials. Someone else has already done the work. They have an average price target of 1643. That's a pretty good sign, right? Mediocre.
Yeah.
If we're at 995 and the average analyst is saying $16. Okay, so 65% potential upside over the next 12 months.
And they're telling you it's a buy right there too.
Yeah. The other thing that I do though is not just go by that. I go look and see how fresh are these price updates. So when we go down and look at the forecast that happened in May and June, we got 13, 13, 15, and 18. Okay. So there's a wide variety of opinions between 13 and 18 that have been put out there in the last month. Or still, I mean, a 30% gain for some people, that's not bad. $10 to 13. Okay, so let's look at the financials real quick. Income statement, revenue. Is it growing? That's first of all on an annual basis. Yes, that's good. Operating income, flat, but growing over the last 3 years. Y'all can see this, right? Net income was negative in 2019, but it's on an upward trend. So these are all good things. Shares outstanding. I'm seeing dilution happening. Looks like they did a share buyback in 2021, possibly, but they have been issuing shares over the last 2 years. And earnings per share go in the right direction. So this just off the bat says it's worth keeping on looking. You with me?
Yep.
There's nothing. We've seen far worse than this, right? Mediocre.
Absolutely.
They have gross margins at 24%, operating margins at 8%. I'm not super familiar with the restaurant industry, so you'd want to compare those to their competitors. How do these profit margins stack up? And EBITDA 73.46. All right, let's look at the balance sheet. Couple things to look for on a balance sheet. What is their cash position and is it going up or down? So it's going down. You'd need to dig in. You'd need to dig into why, but maybe we'll figure out why while we're looking here. Current assets 42 million. Current liabilities 104. So that is not good. Current liabilities are more than 2x current assets. So they're going to have a negative working capital. This is one of the problems I have with AMC. Negative working capital means that if there's no, let's look at the most recent quarter and see if that changed. 42 and 116. See, when you see that, then you start thinking to yourself they might need to dilute because they're running low on cash and they have more current assets, more current liabilities, more bills due than they have cash in the next 12 months. Net earnings was net income 4.5 million. Let's while we're talking on this topic, let me just pull up one of the paid tools that I use and see what it tells us. PTLO. If you're in the Discord and you ever want to see this info, just drop a ticker. They don't have an update on PTLO. Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah, that's the only downside to that site. Not everything's in there.
It doesn't cover every single ticker.
I wish it did, though, but that's a good tool.
It saves me time to reconfirm what I'm seeing. But what I see here is maybe a risk of dilution if they don't have. I'd go look for guidance. Like, are they guiding that their income is going to improve? What are they telling us in earnings calls of how they're going to fix this declining cash position? Maybe the business is going to pick up.
Does it have options?
I don't know. Total debt is 523 million. Current debt 45 million. Total assets, they're a little bit better on total assets versus total liabilities. At least that's not upside down. 1.4 billion total assets, 964 million total liabilities. That means you will have positive shareholders equity right here. And you have a positive book value per share because of that. And then cash flow. Operating cash flow is okay. Their capital expenditures keeps going up. I don't know. Has this company been expanding? I'd want to go understand why that is. And financing cash flow, share issuance. This is where they did their big share issuance in 2021. So negative 33 million in 2023. That's not ideal. There's some issues, you know, I can see why the stock price is getting hammered. This would tell me there's enough interesting here that I need to go listen to some earnings calls and see what management's saying. It's not a clear winner yet in my book.
He's saying yes, they're expanding.
Okay. That would make sense based on the CapEx. So it's not an automatic no. Yay. Mediocre. How many times when we're looking at tickers are they automatic no's?
A lot.
Almost all of them. So congratulations on picking one out that's a maybe.
Tony, look and see if they got options.
All right. I'm going to sit down. Hang on one second.
Oh, I can look at it. I don't know why I had you do it. What's the ticker?
PTLO.
They got monthlies.
Any interesting IV where you could sell puts and get into it, Mediocre?
You could sell $9 to get 5 cents, but that's not great now. Well, it's the options contract for July 19th is trading between 5 and 15 cents. So you can get somewhere in between there depending on where it's trading at.
10 cents for a monthly? That's not super interesting to me.
No,
I'd really want to buy. I'd really want to own PTLO. You know what I'm saying? I'd really have to be like, man, I need to own this thing. I'm willing to take 10 cents and tie up $900 or $1,800 for a month. I think I could make better use of that money rather than selling puts.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, the restaurant industry can be fickle. That's all I can say. I don't tend to buy them. Although that very attitude screwed me when Chipotle came out. I said, I ain't going to buy a fucking burrito company. I remember when Chipotle IPO'd and Jim Cramer was all like, yeah, Chipotle, I love Chipotle. I was like, I'm buying tech companies, dude. Guess what? Half those tech companies ain't around anymore, and Chipotle's killing it.
Yeah, they are. And they don't do anything to hurt their stock price at all.
Anya says, I hated my one meal at Chipotle. From time to time, maybe twice a year, Anya, we will eat at Chipotle just because it's the closest to wherever we're at. I've never hated my Chipotle. We have competitors local competitors that are better because they have like flavored tortillas and they have different meats besides Chipotle. In fact, often, if I'm picking up my son down by UT campus, we'll go to the local place. I forget the name of it. But I've never hated my meal at Chipotle, but the people that love it, Anya, they're fanatics about it. And that was my mistake. My mistake was judging Chipotle based on my preference. Now, sometimes I have to learn the hard way. Like, just because you don't like movies, you don't have to hate on a movie company. Just because you're not a gamer, you don't have to hate on a gaming company. What do the fans in that genre think of it? What do the customers think of it? That's really the question to ask yourself. And I told you guys that story back in 2020 when I was talking to a friend and client of mine prior to the election. And I said, look at all the money that Zuckerberg is spending on Biden's campaign, all the pushing on Facebook. I was like, you got to buy Facebook. And I'm not a fan of Facebook. Like I don't even have a Facebook account anymore. But we got it in for her at a cheap price on Facebook. And then some months after the election, sure enough, just like I predicted, it freaking ran. And I called her up. I was like, are you happy? Are you seeing what's going on? She's like, I didn't want to tell you, but I sold it because I really don't like Facebook. She decided what to do based on her thoughts on the product instead of what everybody else was thinking. So I guess that's just my way of telling you guys, as you're looking at plays, don't just look at it like what you think about the product. Oh, that's how we made all that money on DWAC. Remember all the people that hated DWAC when it came out, Mediocre? That's a Trump stock. Fuck that shit. One of our best days ever trading DWAC when it IPO'd, because I got in the head of the Trump fanatics. I'm like, they're going to send this thing to the moon. And boy, did they. Are you hearing me, Anya? That's okay. If you don't want to support an investment, that's fine. But I'm just saying, don't count stuff out. Oh, you know how many people hated me, Mediocre, because I bought Disney when it was really cheap?
I remember when we were talking about Disney.
How dare he support Disney? These little whiny boys. I don't give a shit about Disney, but I could tell that it was cheap, and I know some people like their products and their cruises, and they're a cash generating machine, and we made a lot of money on that play. You could have. I didn't buy Bud or Target, but you could have made money on those plays too. I bought Disney because it's adjacent to the movie industry. I'm more familiar with that. I don't really like retail shopping stores like Target. Period. What do we buy Disney at, Anya?
It's all about this, Tony.
Oh, I guess I'm looking back at my Target chart. I did buy Target. I have my buys on here. I bought it at 107. It's at 147 now. Disney. I guess it got to a point, guys, where it got so cheap that even I said, fuck it. I bought it at 107 on October 3rd, 2023. Disney, I got in at $79 in October also.
SH wants to know why Chipotle is so high, Tony. Low float.
They never did a split.
Yeah.
Didn't they just do one, though?
I don't know if they did.
I think they just did a. Yeah, they just did a 1 for $50
forward
split. Yeah, the price is now $65, Mediocre, for Chipotle.
Is it really?
Yes. It just went through this week.
Wow.
I might buy some.
Yeah, me too.
I need to review their numbers, but at a certain point, is the restaurant chain saturated? Like, how many more locations can they open? That's what I need to go look at. What's their global saturation? God damn, man. This thing was at $4.95 in 2018, $65 now. Split adjusted. Ridiculous.
Yeah, they never did any splits until up recently, and it was a low float stock, and I mean, sure, if you were in, man, you were in. No shareholders made bank.
Why is Chipotle so high? PE ratio. That's messed up. Let me look over here. CMG. Probably because they have a shit ton of cash, very good earnings, good operating cash flow. Look at this. 1.7 billion in cash flow, operating cash flow in 2023. Net cash flow, 177 million. They did share buybacks. They've been doing share buybacks for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years in a row. That's what happens. I was just listening to somebody way smarter than me talk about when you have a fuck ton of cash and your business is starting to slow down, Mediocre, because you're so big. What do you do to give value back to the shareholders? You buy back shares.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't grow the earnings you can't add infinite locations. But if you're a cash generating machine, you can just buy back shares, and that benefits all shareholders. So looks like that's what they've been doing for a long time. 1.3 billion in cash on the balance sheet.
When they buy back shares, Tony, what does that do to the float?
Reduces the float and increases earnings per share. Working capital, 590 million. Shareholders' equity over $3 billion. Yeah, it's a solid business. And this revenue chart, they've been growing their revenue every single year since 2016. They had one blip. 2016, they had a decrease from the previous year. This is what you want the bulk of your portfolio consisting of. Charts like this, companies like this. Look at this shit. That's a yearly chart, top line revenue. Net income, beautiful. But y'all want to fuck around and put all your money in a company where the chart's going the other direction, below the horizontal line. I mean, I love playing those too. I'm not being mean to you, but I put this much in them. I don't want you mortgaging your house and putting it in a company that's all the numbers are below the line. Look for these. They're boring.
I get it, people.
You're not going to be crying.
Cheap shares, I get it. Cheap shares, you can get a lot more shares when they're cheap than you can when they're more valuable. But the problem is most of the time they're cheap for a reason.
Keith is asking, what is the chance? Damn it, Mediocre. How do you keep getting down there? I wish it would default to this view. Chances that GameStop invests in the Chewy. That is a good question. I haven't really thought about that. I want to check Chewy's numbers real quick. Revenue, beautiful. Net income, just got profitable. Shares outstanding, that's probably just executive awards. That doesn't even look like shareholder dilution. Earnings per share just got profitable. Free cash flow positive. Balance sheet, 600 million in cash. decent. Current assets versus current liabilities. 2.1 Billy versus 2.1. Balance sheet is, what's the enterprise value on this thing? You're saying, are they going to buy them or invest in them? Invest into Chewy.
Yeah, invest.
Let's see what the enterprise value is on Chewy's statistics. That's what I'm looking for. 12 billion. Ryan doesn't have enough money to buy Chewy's. Invest in? Maybe. Could he invest in the stock? Maybe. Yeah. Net income. Okay. Cash flow. Operating cash flow. Beautiful. Investing cash flow is negative. I'd need to go look and see what they got going on there. Financing cash flow. I'd need to go look at that too. But I mean, the first thing to look at is, are they generating profits off their core business, operating cash flow? Yes. You want to see one that's not mediocre?
I'll look at whatever you want to throw up there.
Can you guess which one I'm going to put up here?
Mullen.
No. GameStop.
Okay.
Operating cash flow. Even though people tell you GameStop is profitable, look at the operating cash flow for last year. Negative $200 million. That means the core business lost $200 million.
I just want to let you know that Mullen is way worse than GameStop.
Absolutely. Mullen's fucking trash. That CEO should be in jail. Of all the CEOs that should be in jail, besides John Berta and George Palikaris, David Michery probably should be in jail. And maybe he will. He may have his day coming.
He may have his day in court, Tony.
I think there's going to be some lawsuits against David Michery once that company files Chapter 11. What? What do you mean they're going to file Chapter 11? Don't you know, Tony, they have offers from certain companies to buy 1,000 cars? Okay. I'll change my mind when I see revenue on the balance sheet, on the income statement.
I do. I make a lot of jokes. Like I'll joke and I'll call Adam Aaron the Dilution King. Tony knows this.
Oh yeah, we joke about everybody. Everybody thinks we love Adam Aaron, Mediocre. You guys don't talk to us every day. We make fun of everybody. I don't give two shits about any CEO.
But the most CEO.
The most funny thing is for me to see people say Tony loves Adam Aaron. He's carrying his water. You don't fucking know me. Right, you don't fucking know me, bro. You don't know what the fuck what I talk about on a day-to-day basis.
The Mullen CEO is definitely the fucking Dilution King. Holy shit, dude. That guy's bad. Hold on to your fucking pocketbooks when you're near that stock or that company. I'll tell you right now.
Mac Attack says, Tony, you're drinking half as much as Kitty. Are you hammered? I've had 2 beers. Should we do the test, Mediocre?
Oh, absolutely. Let's do it.
Let's do it. 3 beers got me to 0.06 the other night. So I should be. I only had popcorn for dinner. You think I'm at what?
0.03.
I'm going to say 0.04. But I haven't had a meal yet. I had a late breakfast, and I had half a tub of popcorn for my afternoon snack.
My wife took care of me.
Let's see where we're at, guys. I bought this not for drinking on the channel, but for another video that we're doing on a company called Shot. But since it's here, we can check it out. Calculating. Wow. 0.06 off of 2 fucking beers, Mediocre.
Holy smokes. I wouldn't have expected that.
I would not. Mac Attack says I'm 6 shots deep. Mediocre, maybe this weekend we can do part 2 and get fucked up with everybody and have some fun doing the Shot video. Shot is a company, guys, that sells a drink. They sell a little drink that they say if you drink it, it will within an hour drop your BAC more than just your normal body metabolizing the alcohol. So about a month ago, we did a part 1 where we just, what did I do? About 6 shots over a few hours, Mediocre. I took a shot every 30 minutes and measured my BAC. And part 2 of this analysis on this company, I have a 4-pack of their product in my fridge. We're going to repeat the exact same experiment. We're going to start earlier though. So we're not drinking till 2 a.m. We'll start early in the day. I'll have the 6 shots again. Then we'll drink the shot drink that's supposed to miraculously clear the alcohol out of your system. Sure. But maybe it will. And then we'll remeasure the walk down and see if it improved off of part 1. Some of y'all were really into buying that ticker shot when they launched the product. It soared.
I'm gonna see if they got some in my area.
I ordered it off of Amazon, but I still have all 4 of them in there. I really want to try it. Martin says, any EV swing plays you guys are in? I have puts on Rivian that I want to get rid of this week. I bought them this morning, and I follow all the EV companies. I'm not super bullish on most of them due to cash burn. I've test driven almost all of their cars. Mullen test drove it. Polestar, we have a dealership here. Rivian test drove them. Lucid test drove them. I love the industry, but the only one that's making money is Tesla. So that's you're taking a risk with all the rest. As long as you are good with that. I see a lot of people buying EV stocks because they think the cars are cool, which they are, but they're not looking at the financials, or they're completely. My good friend Mullen Ernie. You guys know Ernie covers Mullen. He's so bullish on Mullen, bless his heart. But he's just in denial about the cash burn and the lack of revenue and the overwhelming tsunami of dilution.
Is there YouTubers for every stock, Tony?
Yes, there's YouTubers for every stock. And, I try and interact with these people and help them a little bit, but there's only so much you can do. If they can't read the financials, you can lead a horse to water, Mediocre. But if they've drunk the Kool-Aid, it's too late. Thoughts on Fubo?
Put up SH's comment.
SH says, how do you drink beer every night without putting on weight? 2 beers 3 nights in a row and my shirt won't button up. Just don't eat, SH. My eating regimen is mostly keto, so I'm not eating a lot of carbs other than when I go to a movie. That helps a little bit. But I have put on some weight. I'm not at my fighting weight right now. Spider says, please review Polestar. I need to do a circle back on all of the EV companies. And I was trying to do quarterly videos on them. And then I realized I'm going to be covering companies into a decline. And I don't know if that's a good use of my time. Mostly what I convinced myself of is Tesla is the one that I should be paying the most attention to. All the rest are fine vehicles, but the finances of them and the cash burn to get up in production. Look at this fucking chart on Polestar. Nothing against any of them, but look at this shit. Look at this shit, Mediocre.
Oof, god damn. What is that?
Polestar.
That's a car company?
Yeah, $16 down to 70 cents. And I guarantee you, if I go look at their latest financials, this is the problem with all of these companies. They're not generating. I have a spreadsheet on the Mediocre. I have a spreadsheet on all of these companies, even comparing them to each other on one spreadsheet. The problem is they're not generating enough revenue to overcome the startup cost of manufacturing a car. Now, at some point, if they don't go bankrupt, then you could get to a point where if you got in at the absolute bottom and you managed to avoid bankruptcy, you're going to do okay. But many of these companies will not make it, or they'll have to get bought up by someone else.
Tony, I know a car company that chart doesn't look like that.
Tesla, Ford.
That's a good one. Ford was the one I was thinking of.
I wish the Ford chart wasn't so boring. I mean,
it is very boring.
I used to buy it 20 years ago, and it made me yawn, and so I stopped buying it.
It still does, Tony, but you know what? You can make money.
I was looking at it. I want to do. I was looking at it, Mediocre, as a potential wheel strategy stock, but even the premiums on the options were kind of boring because why? Yep. Lack of volatility.
That's exactly why, lack of volatility. No, Anya, it's trading around $12 or something like that.
Holy fuck, Fubo. Mediocre.
Holy shit!
How many reverse splits has this company done, guys? $1.5 billion down to $1.18. Are you serious right now?
I can't touch it when the chart looks like that, Tony. I can't touch it.
Can you guys hear the sound effects? Did you hear that, Mediocre?
No.
Let's see. Share screen. Window. Share audio. Won't let me.
Tell me if you can hear this. Hang on.
I heard a beep.
Yeah, hang on. Let me find the right one here.
We are selling to willing buyers at the current fair market price.
Yep. We heard that.
I love that one, Tony.
What else do we got? What's his second phrase?
Let me find it. Hold on.
Sell it all today.
That's not it. Hold on.
You're selling something that you know has no value.
That's the one right there, Tony. That's the one.
You guys know how many times we play those clips when we're talking about different stocks during the day? Hey, are you going to buy this stock or sell it? I'm going to fucking sell it. And then someone will be like, you're selling something that you know has no value. We are selling to willing participants at the fair market price. We crack ourselves up during the day, you guys.
Absolutely, we do. Oh God, hang on. I got one more. Hang on. Let me switch here. We do this. Hang on. Let's do.
Good Lord, Fubo.
I'm not fucking leaving.
Just don't play anything with music, Mediocre, please.
Yeah, I won't. None of those. This is another one of our favorite ones right here.
A bullshit.
Oh man, what other one we got?
Do you have Mayflower?
Oh yeah, the Mayflower one's awesome. Let me find it. Where do I got that one? No, that one's on here. Hang on. She is right.
She reached out to me the other day. She's trying to get back on Discord. She
Trying to
lost
get
her
back
password.
in.
She lost her password.
Hold for me, I'll hold for you.
We love
Dude,
Mediocre.
The first day she said that, I was dead.
Fubo has growing revenue, but still 4 years of negative operating income.
Is this the right sound for Fubo? All right, I gotta stop.
Negative operating margin, negative profit margin. I mean, you're going to have to sell me guys on the turnaround story here. There's nothing I can tell you that's good about this. You got to sell me. People hate me, and they ask me about a ticker, and I look at the financials, and I'm like, what is the good story here? You got to sell me on it. Negative working capital, more liabilities than assets. Wait, is that right? Oh, no, they have more assets than liabilities. Okay. They still have a little bit of positive shareholder equity. Ratios, PE ratio negative, price to sale 0.24. I mean, this is not a stellar story here. Look at all the EV to EBITDA, EBIT, free cash flow, all negative. Return on equity, negative. Return on. Sell me on it. Sell me this pencil. What do you love? What do analysts say? Analysts have it rated as a buy, $2.99. Okay. You got my interest.
Maybe it's not a toilet flush, Tony.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a two-bagger Mediocre. I still see earnings per share over the next 2 years still forecast to be negative. Like, why are these guys giving it a $3 price target? What am I missing here, you guys? Okay, our earnings are still going to be negative, but they're not going to suck as bad. I mean, the directional growth of revenue forecast is good. I'll give them that. But I'm very critical. I've got a certain amount of speculative plays. You got to really sell me on why I need one more. Doesn't mean that Fubo can't go from $1 to $3. I'd rather buy in at $1 Mediocre than $1.5 billion, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Maybe all the risk is worked out of this thing right now. Maybe we go buy a little bit of it, Mediocre, just for grins.
It's a TV stock?
Fubo is a sports-first live television streaming company.
Is it illegal
though? I would assume so because they've been around for a long time. I mean, I've definitely heard of Fubo, but every time I look at this chart, I'm kind of like, eh.
You know what I mean? How you see streaming companies streaming that stuff that's not really.
Those of you that are invested in this play, who've been following it for years, you tell me right now, should I spend 2 hours of my time over the next week to go read up on this company? Are you gonna sign your name to that? Tony, yes, you must go look at it. Tell me right now.
Hold on. Let me look at some.
Anya says that chart doesn't look good. Look at this chart, Anya. This is the
Tony.
Yo.
They got weekly options.
How do they look? What's the IV?
Okay, so their strike prices are spread apart. So let's see. There's nothing at the dollar strike right now for this week. But let me look at next week. Hang on. No, nothing at the dollar strike. So you can't sell a put for $1. You can only sell an in the money put for 8 cents.
You could sell them for mid-July for $1. 3 cents.
Yeah. I mean, but if it hits $1 and it stays under for a period of time, you know what that means. You don't want that either.
Yeah.
Why is it trading down here?
SH says, yes, Tony, you should. If I spend 2 hours of my time reading up on this company, I'm going to come for you, SH, if I'm not happy. Just teasing.
It doesn't have any real volatility, Tony. That's the problem, too.
Let's put some other indicators on here, Mediocre, and check it out.
Looking at the chart, it's very barcodey.
What happened to all my RSI, MACD?
It ran up today. Was that today? Yeah, it was today. I shouldn't say run up, but it went from 115 to 121, so it gained 6 cents today.
Looking at the daily chart, Mediocre, I'm seeing like maybe if it can break through 130. But I mean, at this point, you've got to have some catalyst from the company to turn this thing around, don't you think?
Yeah.
You get a positive catalyst from the company in terms of good news, and then the stock starts pushing up over 130. Then it could be free to run based on the news and the technical turnaround. But right now, this chart just looks like dog shit.
Well, Tony, check and see if it's on.
And I'm not just looking at the chart in isolation. I'm looking at it combined with, the past couple of years of financials. Like, no wonder it's going down. So there's got to be a turnaround story. And if that turnaround story happens and a stock is this cheap, then it could be kind of interesting.
Look on Dilution Tracker, see if it's on there.
Yeah, let me see. And guys, what's the short interest on this stock? It being shorted? All right, we do got a... Oh, man, that looks ugly.
Oh, maybe I have the wrong ticker. Hold on. No, I got Fubo.
Overall risk of dilution high, offering ability high, overhead supply high, cash need high. Company has 5 months of cash left based on a quarterly cash burn of $67 million.
Yeah.
And they have convertible notes. I mean, there's just a lot of ugly stuff here.
Yeah, so what happens is it'll break below $1. It'll be down there for a while. Then Tony knows the deal. They'll do a reverse split.
They've got 2 open ATMs. They've got a new shelf with infinite capacity. March 2024 shelf. Good Lord, man. This one, I mean, it's a risky as fuck play. That's all I'm going to say. Even if it gets running up, I would say they're very likely to smack you with some dilution or converts. What's the conversion price on these convertibles? $383 and $57. Man, that guy got screwed. But yeah, your next round of converts happens if it runs over 383. So that'll act as kind of like a ceiling. But I mean, $1 to 350 is still pretty good. I'd take that return for myself if I were to jump in it. Mudrick is the owner of both of these convertibles.
Really?
Yep. I don't know, guys. This one is risky as hell.
What kind of reverse split you think they could do? They're close to under $1, Tony, right now.
Their shares outstanding is 299. Let's see what their authorized is.
It rejected on the 9 on the daily today.
Shares outstanding 299 and authorized. What the fuck? They're at full capacity. Their authorized is 299. Well, let me guess. They have a vote coming up for a reverse split or
They
more
have to.
share. Yeah, or more share authorization. Let me check. They have a proxy for April 26th. Let's see what's on it. See how good my prediction skills are. Can you guys see this? Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see it better if you slide the chat off the screen.
I don't see a reverse split on here. Oh, they have an amendment to increase the number of shares. All right. How much? Let me guess. It's going to be $1 billion. Proposal 8.
$1 billion, then they'll do a reverse split.
People don't think I can read fast, mediocre.
I mean, that's what I think of when I see stocks like this.
Oh, it's proposal 6. I don't have my contacts in. I mean, I have my contacts in, so I can't actually read that good unless I have my glasses on. Proposal 6. Yeah, I was right. 1 billion.
What's the next step after they get that approved, Tony?
Reverse split.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they drop below $1, anyways, you're gonna have $1 billion shares authorized, and they'll drop the float down to 20 or 30 million on a 1-for-10 reverse split, and that's a money printing machine for the company. Beautiful, but for shareholders, not that great. Yeah.
No. And as soon as that gets approved, the shorts are going to attack and drive it under $1.
It does say here that total authorized shares is 800 million. I don't know why on the 10Q I was seeing it says authorized is 299. It should say 800 million here. Balance sheet. Oh, it does. Again, I should probably put my glasses on. It says 800 right here. 800 million authorized. But even Mediocre, even with 500 million of overhead shares available, they're still asking to increase the float to $1 billion. I mean, the authorized to $1 billion.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
I'd
be very nervous.
Yeah, they're close to $1. That's why they need that room, Tony. Prevent bankruptcy at all costs. You know the rule. Nobody wants to go back to the pink sheets.
We're talking Fubo TV, right?
Yes.
That's the one I'm looking at. Someone is asking about Fubo.
Yeah, no. We're both looking at Fubo, Fubo.
All right. Any other AMC questions? We're getting kind of off track here. I don't mind answering other stock stuff since we're all hanging out. What time is it? 10:30. My body wakes up at 3 or 4 in the morning. I need to get 4 or 5 hours sleep. So we'll probably wrap this up in about 2 minutes, 1 minute. Mediocre, thank you for hanging out. Anya, thank you for modding. Mediocre, who else? No other mods here tonight. Anya, doing all the hard lifting. Anya, were people pretty well behaved tonight? Did you have to smack anyone? Thank you to all of you watching. Great questions. If you're watching on replay, feel free to drop us some comments. Go sub to Mediocre. It's Mediocre Trader on YouTube. If you're in Fubo, yes, we will be praying for you. Anya says, no turmoil lately. Maybe we got all the crybabies blocked, Anya. Finally. Maybe we can take this channel to the next level with people that actually want to learn and not complain.
I mean, that last 10 minutes was a good learning experience, if you ask me, Tony.
We do this all day on many, many tickers. What you guys just saw us do over the last 30 minutes, all day, every day. What do you think about this ticker? What do you think about this ticker? And we run through and look at them, and in 5 or 10 minutes, make a rough calculation. Nope, or maybe, or hell yeah. If it's a hell yeah, I usually, if I stumble on a hell yeah, I'll buy a little bit right away. And then I'll spend more time. I'll go listen to earnings calls, listen to what management has to say. Yes, Ryan Cohen, that is important. People do want to hear that stuff. I'll read through 10Qs. I'll read through months of news articles and analysts to see, is this worth more of my time, more of my money, worth a video to you guys? Not everything makes it to that final level. But if I buy something, I post it in the Discord. Not because I want you guys to run in and buy it, but just because some people want to see what I'm trading. Generally, only a few people have access to that anyways. Out of everybody in the Discord, only a few get to see the trades. Mediocre, there was someone that made a post that I post all my trades in Discord to run pump and dumps. Again, you don't know me. Very few people see the trades that I make. It's a higher echelon of membership, and most people don't pay for that, and that's fine. I don't want to post my trades to influence anybody. It's just for the ones that want to know, what am I buying? What am I selling? I don't ever tell somebody to buy a stock.
Anya wants us to answer Tito's question.
Tito Valdez. Do you know we have Tito's Vodka here? Mediocre, that dude's from Austin. Do you know what his last name is?
No, what is it?
Beverage.
What?
He was born to be a vodka distiller.
It's big. It's up here too.
Tito says, struggling to decide if I should keep averaging down or not at $8. You're on which ticker are we talking about? AMC?
I'm thinking he's talking AMC.
I mean, we can walk through some general thoughts on that. We have that. We walk people through that thought process with multiple things to think about almost on a daily basis. I'd first start out by asking what is your realistic expectation for the box office over the next 2 years? And what is your thoughts on the risk of AMC doing more dilution to pay down the debt? Those are two very important things that are going to decide what happens with the stock price.
I would say, Tito, you might want to talk to us on Twitter. Maybe join the Discord or whatever, because, we could talk more in depth there. But I'll say this. There's a lot of ways to average down your position. I'm not going to give you financial advice on any of that, but what I will say is there's people who have averaged down from higher numbers than that, and they did it without throwing a lot of money at it, right? But it depends on your risk tolerance. There's a lot involved, and you have to think about what you're willing to lose, right? Now, the reason I bring that up is you have dilution risk, obviously, right? What is the outcome of the dilution going to do to where you stand versus maybe doing something else that has a risk but can generate you income, right? Like there's things you got to look at, maybe get a better understanding of.
Are you selling any covered calls on 4,000 shares? I mean, that's not an insignificant amount.
That's a lot of money. Like I'll give you an example. Right now, if tomorrow morning, roughly, a rough example for tonight, okay? Let me go back to my little chart here. All right. Let's say you wanted to play it safe. Okay? $6.50 by Friday, let's say. I don't think it hit $6.50 by Friday. I don't know your thought on it, but let's do the math. That's paying roughly 2 cents right now. 4,000.
Look at next Friday, Mediocre. Let's not look at one that's 2 days away.
Well, just for sake of argument, that one's $80. Okay? That's $80 of profit. But let's look at next Friday real quick. These are just pennies, by the way. Don't, I've been told we only make pennies around here, but, All right, so next Friday, the 650 is paying 6 cents. So let's see.
$240.
Yep, $240. Now, how many times would you have to do that before you could buy another 100 shares of stock at this low price? And when you do that, that's going to drive down your dollar cost average.
That'd take you 2 weeks to get another 100 shares with no cash out of your pocket.
But I don't know shit, and neither does Tony. We're just a couple of knuckleheads. Clown News Network. You know what I mean?
There's ways to average down your position without spending money out of your pocket, is what we're saying. Now, we don't know your risk tolerance. We don't know, we talk to people about this that say, I understand what you're saying, but what if it moons to $30? Then don't do covered calls if that's what you're worried about.
What's your risk tolerance, right? How long is it going to take you
to play? You guys got to decide that. All we can do is, here's options. You got to choose. We have people that choose to do nothing. We have people that have chosen to actively take control of their portfolio and have gotten back in the green or very close to it.
And so I'll say this, right? Like, how long is it going to take for AMC to make it back to $8 on its own? I don't know the answer to that. I would hope much sooner than later, right? But how many dilutions between now and then? I don't know. I'm not, maybe there's none, maybe there is some. I don't know. But that's the risk versus reward you got to look at, right? There's a risk that when you're doing that, the stock runs up. That's a possibility too. You got to take that risk versus reward for yourself.
That's why we can't tell you what to do. We can talk about multiple scenarios, and then you got to say, all right, I'm going to own this and do nothing and just keep praying, or I'm going to own this and takes a little more active control. But I understand, if a MOAS happens, I'm not going to get the top dollar for my shares because I sold covered calls.
And that's the thing. That's the other thing I want to say, right? Like, a lot of people don't understand options at all. Okay. And they may hear us say, "Oh, sell covered calls." And then that person may go in and accidentally buy calls because they didn't understand, right? Like, I don't want to be responsible for any of that. You're responsible for your own portfolio. You guys need to understand, you need to at least educate yourself a little bit on all aspects of the market. That's just my belief, right? What you guys choose to do is your business. You don't, if they don't want to do anything and you want to sit there and be a sheep. I'm not calling anybody a sheep. I'm just using that as an example and expect the wolves not to attack. That's not a good way to do things, in my opinion. I would rather educate myself.
Tito, just so you know, like we already talked about this back in May when AMC ran up to $12. I think I had covered calls sold on my entire position. And within a few days of that, or maybe even the first day, I saw that, the momentum was building for a big push up and I was likely going to lose my shares. Well, at a profit, because my cost average was under $3. So I was going to get out at $4.50, whatever strike I had sold them at. I forget, that was a month ago. I was going to get out at a profit, but the momentum was looking like it could go much higher than my strike price. So again, there's always options. What did I do? I bought call options at an $8 and $10 strike, so that if I lost my shares at $4.50, and it ran up, that I would still make money in the run up. And I did. I made money both ways. I made money selling call option premium. I made money having all of my shares taken away from me at a profit. And I made over 1,100% on the call options because I recognized the momentum. And this is what we talk about all day, is like, what is the stock doing? Do we need to take some remedial action? We don't always get it right.
Yeah, I mean,
No one is perfect, but you just got to be right more times than you're wrong. So just a couple things to think about. If you guys want to have more detailed conversations about that, again, we can't give you, we don't know you. We don't know your risk tolerance. We don't know your entire portfolio, your money situation. Don't really want to know.
Yeah, it's none of our business.
Don't really want to know, but we can talk to you about options, choices, a menu of them, and then you can decide if any of those might be good for you. And
I just want to see people win. That's it.
We, like I said, we have people that have heard all of that and done nothing. We have people that have heard all of that and taken active control. I don't care what you guys do. I don't care what choice you make. Let's put it that way. But I do want to see all of you win. All right. I think we beat this horse to death. Go see some fucking movies, please.
That's right.
I'm going to. We got 2 more to see before Sunday in this household. I know this was a lot of raw talk. Please don't ever think that I hate any company. I don't hate GameStop. I don't hate AMC. I don't even hate Fubo. I just look at the numbers, and the numbers tell a story, and I don't go by anybody else's DD or catalyst on social media. That's just me. Because I did that from 2021 till 2023, and in AMC, it wasn't really working out. So I treat every single stock the same way. That my style with the meme stocks might not be for everybody. That's okay.
And I'm easy. I don't care what stock it is. I trade no matter what it is. I'll never hold. I have one motto, and I'm not the only one in the group that has this motto. I hold 0 stocks. There isn't. I don't give a shit if it's Costco. I don't hold any equities. Period. I trade them.
I'm a little different, Mediocre. Like I'll hold them.
I know.
I'll hold them because when I buy something like a Costco, before I buy it, I already have decided what point I'm going to sell it. You know what I'm saying? So I might hold it for.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that.
I'm just explaining a little bit different viewpoint to the folks.
Yeah.
I might hold it for a month or I might hold it for a year, but I have already decided where I'm going to sell. Now you're doing more shorter term plays than me. Like I'm looking for undervalued blue chips where I might have to hold them for a year. So we have all sorts of different styles, and there's no one that's better than the other. It really comes down to what is each person's risk tolerance. I like to be able to sleep at night. Mediocre sometimes take bigger risks than I do.
I like to make sure all my money works. That's all. You know.
I'm older than you, Mediocre. I only got a couple years left on this planet. So
listen, I play some safe ones though too. You know that. Like I don't only play these meme stocks.
I'm just teasing. I do a lot of options trades that are riskier than you, like buying Rivian puts today.
I know that. I didn't. I said, man, I don't know.
I bought those, Mediocre. I bought puts on Rivian. I started going in the green immediately. And then I started looking at some of the articles and I was like, all these analysts upgraded it to like 19, 20, 22 bucks. I was like, holy fuck, man. Am I just like on crack here? Like I just bet against every analyst covering this stock. And no, it went down the entire day.
My problem with puts though, I'll be honest with everybody here. I don't like to buy puts unless it's extremely short amount of time, which Tony knows this because I explained it to him. The reason why I don't like it is because there's way more buyers than there is people trying to push the price down. Most stocks go up. If a stock is going down, it's for a pretty good reason most of the time.
But the reason I did is, I mean, you saw the price action overnight on Rivian, right?
Exactly. I know why you did it. I know exactly why you did it, and it looked good. And you should make money on it. I hope you do. That's my problem.
I'll let you know tomorrow. I want to be out of it tomorrow, no matter what. So, anyways, guys, thank you, Mediocre. Thank you, Anya. Thanks to the members of the channel, new subs. If you're just lurking, hit that sub button, help the channel out. And like I said earlier, go send Mediocre a sub on his channel, Mediocre Trader. Yeah, I'm going to run. Go ahead.
Hit me up on Twitter also, Mediocre Trader 1
on Twitter also. Yes. I'm going to run the outro.
Good night.
And bid you guys adieu. Get some sleep. Another great day tomorrow. Let's have one. And where is that video? Here we go. All right, guys. Have a good night. Thank you.
Good night, Tony. Good night, everybody.
So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay, won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane, it's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall, I've come to take it all. I'll take it, I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall, I've come to take it all. I'll take it all. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. I send the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes. Pieces is a form of art. I'm never gonna look back, cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast. fast, fast.